I saw a New Yorker cartoon once where it's a doctor's office and a large anthropomorphized cat is sitting on the examination table, sort of slumped over. And there's a doctor in front of the cat who's got a clipboard open and he's shaking his head. And the doctor says, "It's curiosity." Now, you probably get that joke, which of course refers to the old cliche, curiosity killed the cat. However, there's a lot you kind of have to know about life for that joke to make sense. Not a lot, but some. First of all, you got to know that old trope or saying that curiosity killed the cat. If you don't know that, this won't make any sense. You also have to know, although it seems obvious enough, that doctors will do this. They'll come to a patient with the diagnosis, regrettably, and tell them that it's cancer, it's lymphoma or whatever. Um, so you have to know those things. And the author of that cartoon made the assumption that you would know this. And if you don't, you're not going to get it. And in fact, if I tried to explain it to you, you wouldn't laugh. And kind of the evidence of that, which is interesting about humor, and this is the nature of art, if you got that joke and if you thought it was funny, you probably laughed instantly. Boom, it happens like that. But if you didn't know about cats and curiosity or doctors and doctors' offices, and I explained it all, it would take a lot longer than an instant. It takes 10 times longer to explain a joke than to get it. Hmm? It's true. This is the nature of art. And this is one of the fundamental challenges of being an artist, of being a writer. You want people to get your stuff. You want them to get your stuff, but you have to leave enough room for them to get it. You have to leave enough room in your stories for them to make the connection. Comedy depends on the reader, the listener, the audience finishing the joke. And as authors, we start the story, but really, we might write till the end, but the reader really finishes it. They're the ones who make the connection. And it's them making the connection that is so satisfying. We point to the thing we're interested in, they have to find it. And sometimes they aren't going to find it. I may have told this story in this podcast before, but one time in a class, I shared a chapter of a book I was writing. Literally half the class loved it. The other half of the class said, "I don't get it. I don't see what the protagonist is so upset about." And I remember sitting there thinking, I can actually rewrite this in such a way that I think some of the people who didn't get it will, but I know I won't be able to rewrite it in such a way that they all get it. Such is the nature of life. Every reader comes to the page with their own biases, their own history, their own blank spots, really. Like if you, for some reason, didn't know about Curiosity Killed the Cat, you're just not going to get that joke, and it's not your fault. And unfortunately, there's something kind of painful about not getting something, of feeling left out, whether it's a joke or a story. It can be, you can feel ostracized. And no artist wants an audience to feel ostracized, but they also want the audience to do the work themselves, to finish the story. So I think it's important to remember as you do your work, as you write your stories or your poems or your screenplays, whatever it is, you're trying to leave as much room for the reader as possible and still make it understandable. And remember that there are going to be those who can't and won't get it. They just won't get it. And it has to be okay. You have to allow them not to get it because it's where they are in their life. But do everything you can to allow as many as possible to get it. Put just enough information in, but not too much. Where does that? It's not a science. We don't really know. But if you can write without fear of being misunderstood, but instead a desire to share, a desire to lead, a desire to trust the reader that they will finish it, that they will bring their own imagination to it, I think it becomes easier to share our work. And we don't have to be so afraid of being misunderstood. We're all going to be misunderstood at some time in our life. And that's just the nature of the beast. Sometimes the person just doesn't know, doesn't have the information from their own life. And sometimes we're just a little sloppy in our delivery. We can clean up our delivery. We can't change who they are. We never will be. This is the nature of being a writer. But if you give them the most chance possible, the best chance to make those connections, then you've done all you can and you can wipe your hands clean and move on to the next story. Yeah. That's how it goes. Hey, thanks for tuning in. I always appreciate it. And if you don't want to miss a dose, hit subscribe. And if you like it, say so. I want to hear from you. Yes, I do. So until next week, this is Bill Kenower. Stay fearless.